just want to, are there any considerations to moving this game, whether that be location, day, time, anything of that nature that you've heard from the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, our sole focus right now is 1 o'clock on Sunday. That's our goal, that's our plan, that's our mission. We know tomorrow is going to be a tough day in the afternoon into the evening, overnight to Sunday, but we've got everything ready to go for that plan for the 1 o'clock kickoff on Sunday. Certainly, there's other things being discussed by the league and the state and the county and the team. We've had some great communications with them throughout this entire week, and including today all day. So we're looking at the forecast every hour on the hour, and we're in good communications with everybody. But right now, 1 o'clock on Sunday is our kickoff, and we're doing everything we can to make sure we're ready.
What happens if a driving ban gets put into place by the town or the county and fans can't get there or aren't supposed to be on the roads? What happens at that point?
Yeah, I think again, going back to the communication, we have such great communication with all our local agencies, with the county, with the state. We'd be sharing that information, of course, with the NFL. Everybody would be aware of those types of contingencies potentially, or those types of edicts that are issued by some of these towns or by the county. And we would just go from there and deal with that. But right now, again, we're focused 100% on kicking off Sunday and doing what we need to do Saturday into Sunday morning to be ready.
Thank you.
Sure, thanks too.
Hi, Andy. Dylan Morello from WIVB. So question for you. You talked about making everything getting ready for come Sunday inside the stadium. What do you guys do, I guess, to clear that snow, take it off the seats for the fans, clear the yard lines if it is blowing and windy, that type of stuff?
Yeah, Dylan, great question. And obviously this isn't our first rodeo with snow in Buffalo. We've all seen it fall before. And the tough part usually is dependent on the timing of the snowfall, right? So if you look outside right now, you're like, what do we do? What are we talking about? It's beautiful out there. There's not an inch of snow here at the stadium. But yeah, game day and leading into the game day, once the snow falls, we have a plan of snow removal. We've got a plan of icing. I'm sorry, ice removal, snow removal, what we call brining the seats, where we spray a solution on the snow in the seats to help turn it into a much safer situation of slush. And of course, snow shovelers. We'll have a press release coming out here shortly about asking for additional people to help us with snow shoveling with our current crews. So we'll put everything we can at this. And, with the wind, it gets a little tricky too, right? You might have part of the stadium that looks like it never snowed, where another part of the stadium may have some snow drifts and some seats under snow. So with our supervisors, with our stadium ops teams, we'll be addressing all those types of things throughout the night leading into the game day, to make sure they're ready for fans when they come inside the stadium.
A follow-up to that, you talk about being ready for fans. How can fans be ready and prepared for this game if it still goes on, like you said, 1 o'clock kickoff? Just being, what to wear, what to do, that type of stuff.
Yeah, sure. I know there's been a lot of great information by our local meteorologists out there suggesting to fans to please dress warmly. Battery operated clothing is permitted in our stadium now. That's something that we changed in 2023. Now that we're playing more games in January, and then the fans looking for that as to enhance their experience and to stay more comfortable. We said we need to do this. It's time. Like, we're playing a lot of games in the winter now. So we made that change as well. But yeah, be smart, stay hydrated, be warm, dress appropriately, wear your gloves, your scarves, your hats, your mittens. And then again, we have a great relationship with Field Cheer, who really helps us with, battery operated clothing opportunities for fans.
And then forgive me if I'm wrong. I think in prior snow games, you got the trucks with the brushes on the field too. Are those on standby? Can you talk more about the equipment you guys have in case, it does become a little too out of hand?
Yeah, I mean, the field preparation is a little bit separate from the entire overall snow removal plan, but it also works together as well. So, anything we move from the stadium stands down to the field has to be removed, obviously before we start to deal with the field itself. So, that plan is in place. Once the tarp is off and the snow is removed off the field, any additional snow that might fall before kickoff, we may decide to use the tractors and the brushes, get that snow off like we've done in the past. We'll have blowers, leaf blowers, and people blowing snow off the field, just keeping the yard markers clear, the sidelines clear, keeping the hash marks, visible for the referees. And then we use all kinds of equipment, trucks, front loaders, everything you can imagine just to plow snow, move it off the field, put it off to the side of our property, and we're trying to save as many parking spaces as we possibly can, throughout this whole process as well, because we know that it's going to be a high demand game, and a lot of spaces will be needed for fans to park, and sometimes the snow, unfortunately, we have to use some of the parking lots to push the snow aside.
And then final question for me, first really big snow game of the season for you guys. Does that create a challenge, or do you guys fall back on prior experiences? Maybe has there been any development throughout this year to improve what you've seen in prior years?
Yeah, Dylan, we've been fortunate not to have a crazy snow game quite yet this season in 23, and now here we are in 24 dealing with Sunday's game, home playoff game against the Steelers. But yeah, we have a lot of experience here dealing with snow storms and snow in the past. Obviously last season was probably one of our toughest seasons ever with regard to dealing with snowstorms. We had to move the one game to Cleveland, and we had the snow game against Miami, and both of those were very weird, I'd say, on the timing of those snowstorms that really made it a little difficult for us. Miami game, we got in and we're able to make that happen. And we actually look at this game a little bit like Miami with the timing of the snow. I think the difference between that game and this year is obviously the wind. So that's where we're keeping a real, close eye on the weather forecast, the wind conditions, what that might do to different areas of the stadium. But yeah, we're always looking to improve our operation. We're always making tweaks. We've got some new equipment this year just to replace some older equipment, make sure, nothing falters, and we're, 100% operational for Sunday.
Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, you too.
Hey, Andy, Tara again. Sorry, one more, couple follow-ups on that. What can you say to fans, to reassure them? I guess that it's a big question right now. My family is trying to decide, do we go to the game? How do we get to the game? What do we do? What would you say to people across Western New York and honestly the country that are trying to get here to see the Bills play?
Yeah, I think I would echo some of the comments you've heard in some of the other press releases today. I know our county executive had some great comments to say that, the community, we're all in this together. We've had some great communications with the county, the state, the NFL, the Bills. We're all collectively talking through all the different scenarios and all the different weather forecasts. So, I know we're all getting together again, throughout the day tomorrow. And, we want to make sure that the game is safe for everybody, fans, players, staff, etc. So, I would just assure everybody that there's great communications and we're talking through this, all the time until we actually kick off, hopefully on Sunday at 1:00.
Thanks, Andy.
Sure.
Hi, Andy. I don't know if you can hear me. It's Ron Plants from Channel 2.
Hi, Ron. Yes, I can hear you. Thanks.
Yeah, a couple questions in and out of the stadium. Number one, inside, just in case anybody does get overly chilled, is there anything in the concourses like heating stations or any warming stations, anything like that they can warm up a little bit?
Yeah. Hi, Ron. I mean, yeah, obviously we do have an older stadium, and that's probably one of the great questions and reasons why we're building a new stadium. But yeah, there are a few areas. There's the Miller Lite Brew Pub area, which is radiant heat. in there for fans to, hopefully warm up a little bit during the game or before the game or at halftime. All of our club level sections have radiant heat above those seating areas. The indoor clubs obviously are inside and have weather protection. Within the concourses, those are all open air concourses, so there's really no heat relief there, I would say, but certainly, protection from the wind in the concourse areas. So yeah, there's a few different areas that fans can kind of go and get out of the wind a little bit, find some heating areas. The restrooms are heated when fans need to use the restrooms as well. So, there are some areas of respite, and fans are familiar with that. We do try to promote that, but we also want fans to really dress appropriately and be ready for 20+ degree weather. It's going to be chilly, going to be cold, going to be windy, and the wind chill will be a lot lower than 22 degrees or 20 degrees. But I know our fans have been through this before. They've been through snowstorms before. We're all waiting to see what the forecast might be tomorrow as well, to see if anything may change for the positive or the other direction. And we'll just stay in great communications like we have been this week. But yeah, that should help, our fans stay somewhat comfortable throughout the game.
And then the other thing I was just going to ask is if any fans want to tailgate, as you had indicated, you might have to move some of the snow into certain parking areas just to get it out of the way in the stadium and what have you. What would you say to people who want to tailgate, and also after the game, depending upon how this thing plays out with this storm, is there assistance to help people get out, or tow trucks or plows, or how does that work?
Yeah, thanks, Ron. I guess, pregame tailgating, I guess I would go back to other similar games where there were snowstorms before a game or cold weather before a game. When that happens, we typically see a lot less tailgating. A lot of fans maybe, sit in their cars to warm up a bit before they decide what time they're going to come inside the stadium. So I'm sure we'll still have fans out there tailgating. Bills Mafia, we have the best fan base, in the NFL. So I'm sure they'll be doing their thing, enjoying themselves before kickoff. But post game, yeah, if we have any issues with the weather where it creates a little tougher time for fans to get out of the stadium, we have a great partnership with AAA. AAA has been on site all season long. They'll be on site on game day. They'll be here to help assist with people if they have issues with, say, a dead battery or they're stuck in the snow. We also have our own operations team that will troubleshoot and help out in the parking lots as needed. And we're working super close with, Erie County Department of Public Works and their commissioner, who's in charge of all of that, all those services. So they'll have the roads ready to go. We'll work in tandem with them and make sure our driveways and our drive aisles are all as clear as possible for fans on, post game.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ron.
Hey, Andy, it's Nick Veronica. Can I ask you one follow-up here?
Hi,
You
Nick,
praised
sure.
the local governments for their great communication with you guys. Does that leave the window open for any possibility that this game is not played at 1 o'clock Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the most optimistic person you may meet. I'm pretty confident in our people and our plans and all those communications and all those agencies. We've worked so closely together all these years, and we've all been through a lot of different storms and weather events together. So that's probably why I feel so confident about moving forward. But absolutely, you just don't know, right? I mean, the weather is the weather, and Mother Nature, wins the game most of the time, right? So we're not arguing with her, and we're going to work in concert with her, and whatever she gives us, we're going to do our very best to address and make sure we play that game on Sunday. If something happens where a decision's made, collectively with the county, the state, the NFL and the team, then we'll make those adjustments like we have in years past.
Is there a deadline where that decision would need to be made by?
I mean, I haven't heard that there is anything like that. I just go back to we're talking through this, almost every hour. And then tomorrow will be a big day, obviously, with, what might be coming tomorrow. So I think those conversations will just continue. And, obviously, fans start showing up game day morning. So, you know, our staff shows up all night prior. So we want to, you know, try to do the right thing when it comes to travel and those types of situations. But again, just going back to that communication that we have and we're fortunate to have with those relationships in town with everybody, and we're, you know, all talking and doing the right thing and making the right decisions, you know, that's safe for the community.